Hi guys, welcome back to MassiveSynth.com tutorials. This is part 3 in the growl feature we've been doing this month, and today I'm going to show you how to do what I've called a pitch mod lead. I'm not sure if it technically qualifies as a screech, but it's along those lines where we're modulating the pitch using an envelope to get that. We've also got some LFO on there and an extra kind of bend on the pitch using the performer. So let's create a new sound in Massive, start programming these oscillators. For oscillator 1, we're going to use a chrome waveform and keep the wavetable position all the way to the right, intensity all the way to the right, amp on full, and we're going to take the pitch down by 2 octaves and just detune it ever so slightly, so minus 23.94. Got quite a nice tone to it, that waveform. Turn on oscillator 2. This is going to be a chrome also, and going to take the pitch down by 2 octaves again, but just detune it a little bit in the other direction, so 24.6. So we've got that nice kind of phasey sort of quality using those two waveforms, the same waveform, and just detuning each slightly in opposite directions. So keep the wavetable position all the way to the right, intensity all the way to the right, amp on full. And next let's move over to, let's set up the filter quickly. So what I want here is a blend between an unfiltered sound and a slightly filtered sound, and we're going to use an LFO on that first filter. So let's make a DAF filter here. Let's pull the resonance down to around quarter of the way up, keep the volume of this filter on full, and pull the cutoff down for now. We're going to modulate its cutoff frequency with an LFO, and in filter 2 slot we'll just keep it as none, keep the volume on full, and then keep this mix slider halfway. Okay, so next thing we can do is probably start modulating that pitch to get the shape of our sound together. So let's go over to the envelope section, and this envelope 1 slot here, let's drag the crosshair of this over to the pitch of both oscillator 1 and oscillator 2, and take the modulation amount up by plus 36 on both oscillators. So we've now got so let's go ahead and edit this envelope to get the shape of our sound together. So back the attack off to, so it's pointing just before the A. Keep the level, keep the attack level on full, back the decay off slightly, and pull the sustain right down. Got something like that. Okay, it's important here to check this trigger 0 reset box, just so the envelope re-triggers with each new key that's pressed. So let's move over to voicing section now. Just make the synth monophonic, and move over to the oscillator tab next, and let's just pull the glide time down and check this box restart via gate. So we've got a nice consistent sound. So next up, maybe just put some effects in here. We're going to have a Brauner tube just to beef the sound up a bit. Pull the dry wet down. It's about a third of the way up. Drive can stay halfway. Dimension expander in the next effect slot, and just pull the dry wet and the size down a little bit. It's just giving the sound a sense of space, really. Okay, next we could use the insert 1 down here, turn that on, and use a sample and hold just to kind of shape the tone of the sound a little bit further. So we may have to check the routing section to hear that sample and hold effect taking place. So click on the routing tab here. You can see it's not really having much an effect on the sound, because insert 1, the sound is passing through filter 1, insert 1, and then routing to the main output. So we're not really hearing that insert 1. So let's put the insert one over here in the signal path, and it's now having an effect on the sound. So let's turn the pitch of the sample and hold right up, and then bring this dry wet slider down a little bit just before the D, so it's pointing just before the D, so it just adds quite a nice amount of grit and sort of, I know, thickness really to the sound. So next up we can go to this first LFO slot and start modulating that cutoff frequency of filter 1. So drag the crosshair of this LFO over to the first modulation slot on the cutoff frequency, click and drag up, and so the green bar bends around sort of 2/3 of the way around the cutoff frequency. So we've got like a little bit of an LFO going on there, but we want to sort of tighten that up really. So let's go ahead and sync this LFO, put the ratio 1/4, and it's going to have pull the X fade curve down, so it's a sawtooth wave what's controlling the LFO frequency, cutoff frequency. So you've just got like that. If I turn that off, you just have it's almost like a kind of sidechain effect on the sound, on the sustain of the sound really. You can make it more squelchy by turning that resonance up. So the next thing to do is set the stepper to just create, I notice when you sustain the sound, it'd be quite cool to have a little bit of a sort of pitched up effect on that sustain as well. So this second LFO slot here, let's make this a performer, sync it, take the ratio down to 1/2, and push the X fade sequence all the way to the top, so it's just this top sequence what's going to be affecting the sound. Pull the steps down to 4. Let's take the volume off the first 2 steps and change the curve for the third step into one of those sort of kind of reverse kind of curves. You can pull all of these down, and then the fourth step is just going to be, there's going to be no curve on the fourth step. So if we now click and drag the crosshair of this performer to modulate the pitch of both of the oscillators by +36 again, we're now going to get this little pitch bend on this third step if you watch the movement of sound, which is quite cool. You know, you could take it further, maybe add another pitch on the fourth step as well. You know, it's up to you really, just play with the sound. So that's it really, that's our sound come together there. And another thing you could tweak, this first envelope here, the attack and decay settings will have quite a big effect on the sound. So I had it like that. But one thing you could do is you could put a velocity on the attack here, maybe pull it down a little bit and push this velocity amount up. So you know, how hard you hit the key is going to have a different effect on the sound. So that was quite a cool thing with the sound. So yeah, there's the sound really, kind of pitch modulation lead. You know, it might be classed as a screech, I'm not sure, but it's quite a cool sound, so I thought I'd show you how to make it in Massive, and yeah. Okay, so thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope you found it useful. Any questions then please get in touch, and hope to see you again soon. Okay, cheers, bye.